I want to ask you, did you know Nasser El Sonbaty as well? Because that's another person I brought up with John.
Good friend of mine, know him very well.
Really, what was your impression, if you could describe him to the audience as if they never heard of him before? What was his personality like?
Okay, he was a very funny guy, for one thing, very, very humorous. He did know 5 languages, just like John Romano said. That's a fact. And I'll tell you, the first time I met him, it was around 1990, I believe it was. He had competed in a bodybuilding. I was writing for Joe Weider. He competed in a pro bodybuilding show called Night of the Champions in New York. He didn't place. And next time I saw, this was in Manhattan. Next time I saw him, he's sitting on a bench outside of Gold's Gym in Venice, because I interviewed him backstage at the show. And in fact, he told me to call him Jimmy. I don't know why. I to this day, I don't know why he told me. He said, "Call me Jimmy." I don't know why. It's a true story. So, he's sitting on the bench. I say, "Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?" He said, and I remember he said to me, he says, "Jerry," he says, "I bombed out of that show." I said, "I know, but," and I was trying to make him feel good. And I meant this. I said, "You have a lot of potential." I said, "You have great shape. I think you're going to do very well." He said, "Jerry, listen to me." He says, "And within 3 years, I'm going to be one of the top professional bodybuilders in the world." And that happened. He actually fulfilled that prediction, So he was a very intelligent guy. I've heard stories about him, like, the thing about him and what's his name? The other guy.
Milos?
Milos, another good friend of mine. Milos, I know him very well. I guess they had some falling out or something like that. And then there was a story about, and he called me up one day, Nasser. He called me on the phone, and he said, "Jerry, don't believe the stories that are going around." I said, "What story?" He says, "Oh, you're going to hear stories of how I beat up my wife and this and that." And, I said, "Well, what happened? It's between you and me, just for curiosity." He says, "She cleaned me out, Jerry." She says, "I went on a tour. I came back and everything was gone. My bank account, my furniture, everything." I said, "What did you do to deserve this?" And he kind of changed the subject. Like, he didn't answer me, which kind of makes me believe that maybe he did punch her a little bit. Because maybe he's a big guy, I don't know, but and also, I listened to what John Romano said about this stuff about him being extremely wealthy. I don't know. I never knew that. That's news to me. He never mentioned that to me. He wasn't an ostentatious guy. He didn't drive like fancy cars or anything like that. And I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not at all. But he never mentioned it to me, anything about any expertise in stocks or whatever. It's very possible, because I can tell you this for sure. He was an extremely intelligent guy. And as for the cause of his death, I still don't know what it is. I heard he was walking down the street and got hit by a bus in Egypt. And then I heard he had a heart attack. Then I heard he had a stroke. I still, to this day, don't really know his exact cause of death. I really don't know. And of course, the natural corollary to that is, did the drug use have anything to do with it? I couldn't answer that either. I don't know. I do know, and and this is common knowledge, he was a very heavy user of various drugs. In fact, Nasser got in trouble because the last couple of contests he was injecting synthol, and in one show he showed up with this huge bump on his rear deltoid. Everybody saw it. It was like a dead giveaway. He was he liked to use those so-called site injections. But in retrospect, I'd say, I felt so bad when I heard that he died. To me, he was a sweet guy. He was always nice to me, always a nice guy, and very intelligent. Seriously, I'm talking compared to anybody. This guy was extremely intelligent, great. Oh my God, he should have. I was at one of the Olympias, I believe it was 97, 96. I can't remember which year. And I was right there backstage. I was like 5 feet away from him, with standing next to Dorian Yates, who won the show. And I saw them compared right in front of me. I'm telling you that Nasser beat him in every pose. Nasser even matched him in the calves. And Dorian's calves were gigantic. And Nasser had bigger legs. His back was equal to Dorian's. Arms were much better than Dorian. He should have won that night. But Dorian was the incumbent. He had already won several Mr. Olympia titles. And the way it works in the Mr. Olympia, if you've won a Mr. Olympia title, you already have an edge, especially if you won several titles. You have to really be completely out of shape to lose. But in the meantime, Dorian had a torn bicep. He had torn, I think, hamstring. He had so many things wrong with him. He should have lost. Nasser should have won that year. I absolutely believe that.